Welcome to the Grants Path Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Jamica, Wallace, a practitioner and your board president, and it is my honor and privilege to welcome you here today. Normally, Reverend Steve would be here, but it's the fifth Sunday, so he gets to go play. He's on a little family, or not family reunion, a high school reunion, getting to visit with old friends. So he's out in Zoom land. We're sending on up back to him, and he's always here with us. So we're going to start today what we always start with. We're going to read together our mission statement, which says, "We are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness, teaching spiritual lessons." I do have just a couple of announcements to share with everybody today. So to start off, we sprung a leak. Your spiritual home has sprung a leak. Our irrigation had a small leak this week, and so we did have to make an emergency call and get some plumbers out here right away. Luckily, we were able to get this problem fixed with the split. However, it did cost us about $450, and we will be getting a water bill that's going to have a little kick to it. Luckily, though, we have contacted the city, and they are being so gracious and so kind, and they are willing to work with us on that water bill. So that's still to be determined, but we will have a little something coming in. So we just like to let you guys know this is your spiritual home. So if you would like to kick in a little extra on that tithe, if you possibly can, that would be greatly appreciated. You can write in the memo line for the water leak, or you can write on the envelope if you wanted to go specifically to that space. Thank you for that. Next, we want to welcome our newest members. We have William H. Coate and Kathy Bishop. Welcome. Do a little wave. Kathy's not here today, but William's back there. Welcome. Thank you for being here with us. All right, up next. Would you like to become a member? If you would like to be a member, applications are available in the seat back in front of you, or we have them on the back counter over here. We also have them available at our website, grantspathcsl.org. And just to let you know, a little added bonus right now, if you are a new member, you do qualify to receive a 6-month subscription to the Science of Mind magazine. So it's exciting. Next. Save the date. We have our very own Deborah Perdue, our gratitude practitioner, is going to be in the August Science of Mind magazine. Page 100, I believe, is where the article begins. And our magazines are in-house today, so make sure you grab your magazine after service. Yay. All right, up next. Calling all green and brown thumbs, the spiritual gardeners will be meeting today after service, and they are going to meet right here in the conference room. So if you'd like to hang out and learn more about how you can help out in the gardens, please stay after service and join them for that meeting. And then next, we have an amazing fundraiser coming up. Our very own Samantha Hall is going to offer a soul collage workshop. This is an opportunity to create an ever-expanding, unique deck of colorful collaged cards with deep personal meaning. After a few cards are made, begin consulting them to discover their wisdom, and wisdom that offers intuitive guidance in gentle and often surprising ways. Registration is required so that we have enough supplies to be available for everyone. And the proceeds are going to go to the Grants Path Center for Spiritual Living and help support us. So come on out and learn about soul collage. There are 3 ways that you can reserve your spot. There's a sign-up sheet available on the back counter. You can text Samantha or you can email her. And all of this information is also available in our e-news and on our Facebook page. So gather more information or talk to Sam if you have any questions about that. Our metaphysical book study continues on Sunday mornings from 9 to 9:45 in the conference room behind me. We are wrapping up Living the Science of Mind right now. We might have 1 or 2 more weeks left in that. And then they're going to start studying the Science of Mind textbook. So that's exciting. And it's our book study is just so fun, you guys, and it's growing so big. So I encourage you to come check it out. And then last but not least, our practitioners are offering a 15-minute meditation. This again is in the conference room right here behind me. It begins at 9:50 and goes till 10:05. I do believe that's it for today, I think. Is that it? Yeah, okay. Please stand and join me in singing We Are One. Do this. Yeah. Good morning. I'm Deborah Perdue, a practitioner here. It's my joy and pleasure to be here. And let's say the gratitude together. I'm so grateful that infinite power that stands strong, and so it is. There's a new insert in the seat backs and also on the practitioner table. And it explains the practitioners and what we do for you, and also has our phone numbers on the back. So please take one if you want to and save it or use it right away. And remember also that you can fill out a yellow prayer request that are on the CPACs as well, or go to grantpasscsl.org and fill out a prayer request there. We'd love to pray with you for you. And if practitioners are available after the service, please raise your hand. Bucky, Jamica, and I. And what we do is we offer like a minute miracle, we call it, which is just praying for you in a short way, a longer way in which we have. Our table practitioner today is Bucky Dennerline. Thank you, Bucky. And she's holding the high watch for us, and she can direct you to one of the other practitioners for prayer after the service. The beautiful hydrangeas are from Lori Lee. Thank you, Lori. They're from the garden. I'm making them next to stuff. Is there anyone here for the very first time? If so, please raise your hand. And while I just heard something go beep, remember to turn yourself down, either muted or off. Thank you during the service. And welcome to the people that are here for the very first time. And we have snacks and refreshments after the service. over there, so please stay and get to know me. Let's read the prayer together. The one power and presence is far greater than any circumstances, and I will spirit and guide you through my life. Please remain seated as we sing, I am loved. We're going to go into meditation with a reading after this, except that I forgot one thing. Last week, I forgot to present Priscilla Chipman with your certificate for the spiritual growth class. So here it is. Thank you. So I have a story from Mark Giovanni's book, The Book of Awakening. It's a very amazing book. All of this goes. We're up early, eager to walk the botanical gardens of Montreal, where they have the largest bonsai collection in the world outside of Asia. We stroll toward the Chinese temple garden, a lush yet simple retreat from the streets that covers acres. A place of renewal originally constructed in the 1600s in China and moved stone by stone to Montreal in 1990. As we approached the massive gate, it was locked. A cannon, ready to demand entry after driving 400 miles from another country to see this. Robert, calmly like an Oriental sage himself, treated the situation as if it were a poem, a riddle to enter until its very assumptions shifted. He began to walk the outer wall of the garden. It seemed insurmountable. I was frustrated. He kept walking slowly along the high wall. Since the garden stretched for acres, I wondered if we would have to walk its entire perimeter. The thought made me cranky. He kept strolling. Suddenly, when he walked farther than was officially in our view, the walls disappeared. It turned out that the garden had no walls, save for a facade at its entrance. So we simply walked through the open grass to a path that welcomed us. How many thresholds that seemed blocked or barred or locked, or seemed so from their initial viewing? How many opportunities for true living are barriers? We can only remove ourselves and our minds from their traditional points of entry. I love the story because so often we believe things are a certain way that there are limitations and there really aren't. And when we can connect with the divine, we find that there's always absolute unlimited good there for us to take. In my own life, I sometimes struggle knowing that I am prosperous as my freelance book design business ebbs and flows. Lately, I've been able to see past appearances and permeate myself in knowing there is no lack. There is grand abundance going on in my life always. And when I am in that consciousness, prosperity flows. Let's go into the silence together, affirming that whatever may be troubling us is just a circumstance, and we are truly permeated with all that God is. We're in the divine flow, peace, wholeness, plenty is ours. Everybody. Spaces service is absolutely. It's time for special music like Flip. Already it's a basic talk. Thank you.
Well, is everybody having a nice summer?
Yes.
I sure am. You know, one thing I like about summer is the summer mornings. If anybody was up around 6:30 this morning, saw a beautiful sunrise, gorgeous. God of glory, God of power, God of deliverance, God of wisdom, God of love, God of justice, time and space. God God of grace, God of power, God of goodness, God of grace, God of wisdom, God of love, God of life transcending time and space. God of glory, God of power, God of goodness, God of grace, God of wisdom, God of love, God of life transcending time and space. God
Is hear me? I can't hear me on this. It's a little odd. You can hear me, yeah. Just don't have trouble. All right, well, the standing stones. We're going to talk a little bit. Sometimes we face what seems to be walls of circumstances made of stone. But could it be that those stones are speaking to us as they have message for us? Our focus this month has been speaking truth to circumstances. We began this month by looking at circumstances in the face as monsters. But just like in the movie Monsters, they're not. And next we looked at how media and cultural conditioning has hypnotized us so that we can free ourselves from reaction into the third week. We talked about how to stand in truth as Jesus did by throwing himself under the blade of grace to bring her back to sin. And then last week we looked at how being authentic, spirit-centered order, what that looks like for us. This week we're going to take a little sidetrack. We're going to listen to the standing stones in our lives. So let me ask you, are your standing stones large and wide? Are they illuminating your path? Or are they tall, big, rocking? Circumstances can seem very real and appear to be stone walls. But Ernest Holmes reminds us in this teaching to think independently of any circumstances. This is what is meant by entering the absolute. By entering this realm of thinking, we connect with the infinite power from which all circumstances, but which is greater than any circumstance. Spirit is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it is. So the one thing that is always changing is change. With every form, there are people who are happy with it, that are unhappy with it, and there's people that just don't care. There is no one circumstance, however, that is right or wrong or another. Last year, the Supreme Court struck down Roe versus Wade. In 1973, when the Supreme Court found in favor of Roe and anti-abortion laws were struck down, many cheered and many others cried. The ones who cheered saw it as a step forward, while those who cried viewed it as a step backwards. Now, here we are, and those who were cheering are crying, and those that were crying are cheering. The same ideas are at play of stepping forward and stepping backwards. Many people thought that Roe versus Wade was a perfect decision, and many who supported striking it down now think that this is a correct decision. But Jesus taught us, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall never pass away. Nothing on this earth, and thus no circumstances or set of circumstances, is eternal. But this should inspire us to rise up and to not get caught up in the wall of circumstances. This should inspire us to anchor our minds in the absolute, which is the real. So I want everyone to just pause here for a second. Put your hand on the heart. Open your ears real clear, and I want you to listen very carefully to this statement. And pay attention to how it makes you feel. One alone in consciousness with infinite constitutes a complete joy. What does that inspire within you? What does that move within you? This powerful statement gives us direction and knowing the to face the standing stones. This is the same invitation Jesus gives when he tells us to go into the closet, into secret, and commune with the Father. When the stones speak to us of our limitation or their power and our weakness, this is a chance to go alone into consciousness with the Father. That is where we will find our true strength. And this is a strength that's far greater than any stones and circumstances. The very word circumstance means that which is standing around us. What is standing around us is a combination of our own thinking and the collective unconsciousness of others. More powerful than all of that is the infinite, standing within us and all around us, above and below the circumstances. The infinite is calling us to see through it, through the walls. And instead of fighting with the stones or accepting the stones just as the way it is, we now have an opportunity to maybe go within and ask ourselves, what might the stones in your life calling you to become or to know? Personally, I don't know if you guys have any big stones in your life, but I had stones the size of Stonehenge when I found my way to this teaching. Anger, regret, resentment, fear, these were all created by many, many different circumstances, and they all felt very real to me. But I discovered if I stopped trying to destroy the wall by banging my head against it, and I went in for just a little bit and would listen with clear ears, that there was always a message waiting for me. One of those messages along the way for me is forgiveness, which I see as a disguised as unconditional love, another word for it. But when I was able to act from forgiveness, this woke me up and created instant transformation. Forgiveness crumbled the walls into stepping stones and allowed those to illuminate my path through my spiritual garden rather than walk. Unity Minister Jane Simmons shares the idea of transition and transformation. She uses the following analogy to help us understand. So I want you to imagine you find yourself swimming in the ocean. And suddenly a riptide starts to pull you out to sea. You begin to battle against it, struggle. You make some progress. And then eventually a couple of strong swimmers come along and they begin to help you out. After a long struggle, you finally make your way back to the shore. That's transition. The long, slow struggle to make things better. Transformation is that you suddenly wake up, realizing you were in your bed dreaming the whole time. You're completely dry, and you were never in any of danger. Transformation does not come through struggle and extreme effort and heroics on our part. Transformation comes from connecting with the deep, but often unconscious truth of our being. Transition can absolutely improve our situation, but transformation radically alters it at the core. What I believe our world is calling for right now is for us to stop battling with these transformational forms that appear to be the stone walls and embrace transformation, which can only come from turning away from the battle and toward the infinite. We can ask ourselves, would I rather be right about my cause or my stones, or would I rather surrender into a greater way? In Science of Mind, Science of Mind text, Ernest Holmes tells us to daily meditate on the perfect life and to daily embody the idea is a royal road to freedom. When Ernest invites us to meditate on the perfect life, It's not to meditate on my idea of the perfect love, but the perfect. Often this calls for us to surrender our own ideas and to make room for greater ideas. When Emerson invites us to get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits, he's telling us the exact same thing. We all come to a point where we have to let go of that ego and admit that it doesn't have all the answers and that I don't know how to fix this. Dr. Michael Beckwith says that a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. So when we finally banged our head against the stones of life enough, we finally get the opportunity to turn to that which is greater than we. However, it is not to get the infinite presence to do things my way, darn it. No, it's to let go of my way for the highway. I like that. This surrender is required for transformation to occur. We invite this transformation by being still, by asking and listening. We invite this transformation through practice of visioning. We invite this transformation by imagining that we take whatever our stone is and we place it at the altar of God. And we say, I've done all I know. This is now yours. We must turn alone to the infinite. And alone does not means without our agenda, without our plans, without our conditioned sense of right and wrong. We must let go of our false gods and seek the kingdom of the one. Only then can all else be added. Sometimes we have to just put down the swords and shields and actually stop and just listen to what the stones have to say. So what is the stone in your life calling for? Is it calling for a healing, a revealing, a resolution? What are your stones saying to you? What is the gift your stone has for you? Can we approach these with curiosity and wonder instead of anger and righteousness? Can we listen to somebody who has a very different opinion from ours? And can we set aside that which we're very certain we are right about and ask the question, is there a way, a different way to view this? Is there possibly a way that could include both points of view? Spirit is paradox, so it's natural that we would be called to live in and as paradox also. We are being called to spend time going within and communing with Spirit. So as we come to a closing, I have a story to share with you. Howard Thurman shares this in his book, The Inward Journey. Two men face each other in a prison cell. They belong to different countries, their roots watered by streams of different cultures. One was under sentence of death, scheduled to be executed within a few short hours. The other was a visitor and a friend. This, even though months before they had been enemies in a great war. They bade each other farewell for the last time, and the visitor was deeply troubled. But he could not find his way through the emotional maze in which he was caught, to give voice to what cried out for utterance. This is what he wanted to say, but could not. We may not be able to stop and undo the hard wrongs of the great world outside. But through you and me, no evil shall come, either in the unknown where you are going, or in this imperfect and haunted dimension of awareness through which I move. Thus between us, we shall cancel out all private and personal evil, thus arrest private and personal consequences to blind action and reaction. Thus prevent specifically the general incomprehension and misunderstanding, hatred, and revenge of our time from spreading. In his book, Howard shares the idea that a man must be deeply convinced that the contradictions of life which he encounters are not final, that the radical tension between good and evil as he sees it and feels it does not have the last word about the meaning of life and the nature of existence, that there is a spirit in man and in the world working always against that destroys and cuts down. Thus he will live wisely and courageously his little life, and those who see the sunlight in his face will drop their tools and follow. So now is the time to go within and ask yourself, what are the stones in your life that seem to be keeping you from your good? What are they here to teach you? What are you here to learn from? What is being called for true transformation in your life today? Are you ready to rest from the battles and wars of good and evil and right and wrong? Now is the time to stop beating our heads against the stones. There will always be stones, and we can live in a greater freedom, leaving them standing where they are while we live in freedom. And this truly is the only agenda. So be gentle with yourself and the world. Who knows? Maybe one day, one of the stones will be a beautiful, valued part of your scripture. So we're going to follow our teaching now and go into a little bit of prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes or gaze at the flowers or candles, whatever is comfortable for you. And I invite you to bring into your consciousness the whatever